Morning once again, and a great afternoon and a wonderful evening, dear friends. When we are been listening to our thoughts create reality. Our thoughts, feelings, and environment creates our outer reality. Our outer is merely a reflection of state of inner, and our inner is equal to our thoughts, feelings, and environment, without any exceptions. That means our outer, whatever that we have outer, is merely a reflection of this inner. And if that is so, then how can that be applied consistently so that each time and every time we produce what we are looking for? This is what we will understand a little more scientifically. The reasons could be many. Our desires could be many. What we are looking to have in our life can be many. It can be anything. What we always heard that yad bhavam tad bhavati is now fully explained by the quantum physics as observation collapses the possibility. If our thoughts and feelings then are is equal to this observation. Observation is what you're thinking. What's that? A feeling produces thought, an environment produces thought. So ultimately, environment and feeling ultimately translate to definite thoughts, and then feelings also have the energy. So observation collapse the possibility is equal to thoughts and feelings that are making this possible, collapsing that possibility. If thoughts and feelings are equal to observation, and if we find a way to change our thought and change our feeling, if we can find a way, if thoughts and feelings collapse the possibility, and then all we have to ensure is that I am in the right thoughts and right feelings. That's all. There isn't anything else that quantum physics is saying. You got to have the right thoughts and right feelings. Now, if you understand the science a little more, what is the right thought and right feeling? Because if I understand the science behind this thought, what is that? Then maybe then we will start applying and making sure the thoughts are right thoughts and right feelings. Some of us are wishing to gain that perfect health. That's perhaps why we came to this program. This long, recurring, chronicle, whatever that ache or pain or illness, just keep coming back, preventing us from doing certain things in our life. Some wanted growth in the business. Some want growth in my career. Some want to land a good admission. Some want just a good job. Some want their environment to be better, their family environment to be much better, a greater relationship. Some are just about to get married, so looking for a good life partner, been working and then just start working out. And some are looking to go and then do a service activity. You've been thinking about it, you're not happy. So you want to do that service activity. How do I do it? You want to start something, you want to stop where what you're doing and then want to start something. You need courage. Whatever that may be. And some you got everything, but they don't know why I'm not that happy. They're looking to explore and say, what is this? Who am I? They want to explore and understand this whole thing. Be a mystic, become a mystic, understand the truths of this universe. So, whatever may be the reason that why we were coming, whatever may be the reason, if yadbhavam tadbhavati, the thoughts and feelings create a reality, they do not come with any exceptions, exclusions. So then all of that we are thinking about should be manifestable. We must be able to manifest them. We must be able to create them, attract them into our reality. So meditation is providing us the foundation to increase the power of thought, increase the energy of thought. Then if we can ensure our thoughts are and the feelings are in the right way, the things that support us, that is exactly what they should be reflecting what we want in the outer. If I'm looking for getting a promotion, my every thought and every feeling must exactly reflect everything that's around that promotion without any doubt, without anything that's going to pull it back in a different direction. If it's about making my relationship stronger and better, then it has to reflect purely around the events that are going to be associated with that relationship. If it can be stayed, if it can be focused exactly on just that without any doubt, how is it going to work? How, it's already so many times we just said no to each other. So how is it going to work? That is then not necessarily being in the direction of what we want. So if the thoughts and feelings or the meditation is increasing the focus, increasing the energy for the thought, then if we can put our attention onto the right thoughts and right feelings, which are going to 100% support what we're looking for, then it'll have to manifest. So we'll understand this science called manifestation science. It's also called, in the spiritual parlance, prosperity. Some will call it abundance. Some call it law of attraction. Many, many words used, but ultimately, it's about creating consistently what we are looking for. Desires, we all have desires. Slowly, we move towards needs and we move towards others' needs, but nothing wrong and being with the desire. So if someone thinks, why are we talking about in this meditation program, it's all about slowly, slowly getting over anything, not to actually go back and then try to manifest these worldly things, if you may say. This topic is not just for creating cars and houses. This topic is for manifesting anything that you're looking to have. If you're looking to be a musician, even though you're at 55, you can be that. This is about understanding the science in a way so that we can actually, we are the creator, so we can create it. So what is the creation technology? Meditation by itself is a creation technology. It's called default creation. But there is another thing called deliberate creation, where we become the same co-creator and actively participate, just the way in our companies. Research and science, research and development. So they are actively creating. It's not by chance. They don't leave it to something and it happens. We're actively thinking, exploring in the mind, and then as things are coming in, then we are putting it in to an execution and then you produce something. So it's a deliberate creation where we're actively involved. And it can be on anything. So we all have desires, and the desires get transcended over a period of time through higher knowledge and understanding and through actual creation. Whatever that is easier for us at that moment, whatever that is easy to do is what we tend to do, to translate our desire into, we got to transcend the desire. That means we are no longer feel the need for the desire, that thing to happen in our life. A lot of times it can happen just by understanding higher knowledge and wisdom. But many a times we can't because we are here in the first place to experience that thing. Everything is impermanent. What's the point in trying to even manifest anything? Just sit down in a closet and then meditate and then understand the concept of impermanence. It is there today, it's not there tomorrow, so why bother? But just pure scholarly philosophy, Vedanta philosophy, that it's all written, it's all there, so why bother about it? But the deep inside, that desire is always there. The person is suppressing in this concept of, okay, I have to be like this only. I have to not seek any desire. I have to not seek any pleasure of life because it's all impermanent. Nothing is there. So what's the point? But then deep inside, they can't even get over it. Dualities, they can't get over because it's not possible. That soul nature, that energy, body's nature, individual nature is to actually experience life in some ways, but then we are shunning it without understanding that this is why we came here. I came here to be a business leader this lifetime. I came here to be a academician this lifetime. And I got to perform my duty in the best possible way. So when you understand that from meditation, then we start becoming a perfect master of execution. And so this is where the manifestation helps. So our desires, as we start transcending 1, 2, 3, 4, and then slowly, our desires start aligning to the purpose, and so we start transcending that. As it's becoming a purpose and becomes a need for us, when it starts aligning to the purpose, it becomes a need for our individual consciousness. And it slowly becomes others' need over a period. This is an evolution. So everything is perfect in here, that because we have an experience, we take what we have and then try to apply the science principles to manifest. And over a period, anything that is excessive desire, attachment to the desire will slowly go away. Meditation is making sure that our attachment to the desire goes away. Our attachment to the results goes away. So we can put in anything into this manifestation principles and techniques, and then we can manifest that. Now, what you put in, what you execute is our choice. What comes out, a lot of things play. We'll also understand it. So it's always great to understand this, because this is one thing that I have practically understood and then I continuously apply in whatever that I'm wishing to manifest in life. First, it was for my business. Then it is for teaching meditation in corporates. Now it is for this Buddha Seva Quantum Foundation. And in between for many, many things. So we can always apply the science of manifestation, dear friends. The simple meditation is helping us understand, helping us implement it into practicality absolutely impeccably. So shall we go into this meditation once again? Relax yourself, sit comfortably. We are doing breath mindfulness meditation, observing our natural normal breath at any point in the nose. When we observe the breath, mind becomes empty. Our goal is to empty the mind. And when the mind becomes empty, then we start experiencing the greater emptiness, which we call the quantum energy field. For this, the process is simple. You sit down, you sit comfortably where you are, with your eyes closed, remove the specs, fingers into fingers, rest your hands comfortably in your lap, cross your feet at ankle. That's the posture. 3 things: crossing the feet, fingers into fingers, resting hands comfortably in your lap, eyes closed. Remove the specs. Observe your breath. When you observe, mind becomes empty. If your mind wanders, bring your attention back to the breath. Again, you go back into thought, bring it back to the breath. So this is the process. And before that, we are doing something called heart elevation. Just follow me actively in this process of heart elevation with your eyes closed, dear friends. For heart elevation, the crux is to feel an heightened emotion. That is by reliving an event from a past or bring it up from your future in case you're manifesting a specific dream. And then live that and fill up your heart with that heightened emotion of love, gratitude, compassion, any of them. Relax yourself. Wonderful. Hi Ram, how is your session? Nice to see you.
Thank you so much. Actually, I was just trying to connect early morning. So, it is by God grace and your blessing, I am again back. So, really grateful for that. And I saw you in the meditation. I saw you like many time in the dreams. Like there is something which is calling for me, and I wanted to do something for the society. And really, it is calling, and I'm really getting closer to that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. It is your intent. It is your intent that has brought you back here. What is outer is really attracted by your inner. So it is really that, Ram. Wonderful to see you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I'm new to this meditation actually. When I'm trying to focus on, there are some things that are wandering in my brain actually. It's not about keeping calm or keeping something. for 2 or 3 minutes I will be stable. After that again, okay, what is tomorrow's work? What I have to do? How I have to face the situations? When you said about we have to overcome the situation, something, okay, I will be thinking about what are the problems tomorrow that I'm going to face, something like that about related to work. So how to overcome this and how to not to deviate actually?
Yeah, just practice, right? Just practice. Just started, right? So that is a thing for everybody, not just for you.
Mm.
Their thoughts will keep coming about the problems predominantly,
But as you said,
and
I'm just
slowly we move towards solutions
I'm
and
trying to sit in a position and then, but still I'm unable to what I call just close my eyes and open my eyes and I will be looking or something I will be doing in front of my system, just opening the nails or something else. That is something which I cannot actually.
you have to keep your eyes closed.
Mm.
You have to keep your eyes closed. Just because your thoughts are coming, don't open your eyes. That's the first part of the training for meditation.
Mm-hmm.
You can keep your eyes closed. The reason you opened is because you're
Mm.
thinking, you thought, okay, thoughts are coming. I'm not able to keep my attention on the breath, so let me open your eyes. So please don't do that.
Mm.
Everybody has a challenge, initially more so. So we continue to keep our eyes closed for sure. Keep our fingers clasped for sure, legs crossed. This is stilling the body, removing the sensations, minimizing the sensation to the body, minimizing the stimulus into the body so that, first of all, it reduces the number of thought. Even if you're thinking, do not open your eyes and then continue to sit for some time. And that itself will train the brain to slowly, it'll help trigger to observe the breath. When you think about observing the breath, it'll come back to observing the breath. It's part of the training that you're giving, you're creating a new set of neural network. So first thing is to continue to keep our eyes closed. Second is not get discouraged. Even for every second you feel that you are constantly thinking, not get discouraged, but simply put your attention back to the breath. But that's a training. Just like the training initially, when you're trying to even hold a basketball, you can't hold, you can't throw. We can't, while practicing anything, when you're trying to cycle, how many times you fell down while trying to learn cycling? We never give up. You fall left side, right side, in many directions, you keep falling. You drive, cycle fast, suddenly you can't stop, how to brake, and then you just go and hit something and you fall.
Yeah,
So it is like
that's
that. It's like that. So we got to continue and then practice. Cycling became easy after 2 weeks. Will become easy after anywhere from few days to a few weeks. It'll become easy. Anywhere from a few days to a few weeks. There is no fixed formula for it. And so we got to continue to practice, but everybody practiced, always said, normally after a week to 3 weeks, they said that, okay, now you're able to, it's no longer a challenge for them to observe the breath, not about distraction. Everybody still has a challenge and we will continue to have the challenge to get distracted. And so how to avoid getting distracted, that is a challenge for everybody. It'll always be there. But observing the breath when we are in a thought becomes easy. It's not a struggle anymore. Yes.
just to conclude here. The only thing that we have to do here is that we should not open our eyes and we have to sit like that only for a while, and then we have to keep on breathing. I mean, concentrate on breathing.
Observe. Do not concentrate, meaning go into the intricacies of what's happening to the breath and this and that. No analysis. Just gently observe. As if your observation is going away from your breath. So observe.
Okay.
Effortless observation. So when your attention goes off to thought, again recognize. When you recognize, just bring your attention back to the breath and say observe. Just gently, the breath is going in, coming out. That's it. Keeping eyes closed and observing the breath all the time. That is sufficient to experience everything that I said after that in the meditation process. We're going to listen in to you today shortly. I'm going to come back to you shortly. Today it's about our first session on understanding this manifestation science. It's always great to understand this, understand the science behind it. Let me pull up a couple of slides. So the manifestation science, the three principles that we understand, we are less matter, more energy. You heard about this from me again and again. And in this energy, we are unlimited possibilities and potential. Every possibility is an event that we are experiencing in our life. What is a possibility? An event. You attending this session is an event. You getting a job is an event. Or you're experiencing the job for 5 years is an event. You taking up a project is an event. Going for travel is an event. Event can be anything that is got a start time and time. We know what is an event. It's got a start time and end time. And then what you have in that event when you have start time and end time, you typically experience a set of things, right? What experience of what? Experience of maybe some people in that event, maybe some things, which means the entities are there, objects are there. If it is about getting a job, then you started applying for a job and then you completed your job application process and all of that, an interview process and all of that. And then finally, you got a job. So there is a start time and end time where you're dealt with a set of people, you dealt with a set of entities that are things, right? And then you perhaps also dealt with some places. If you had actually gone to an interview from Chennai to Bangalore, then you dealt with these two places and everything around it, right? So we got an experience of applying for a job and then getting a job. It's an event, right? Where you experience set of places, set of entities or things, anything, right? In the process of this applying for job, you're using your phone. Of course, you got to wear clothes, and all of these are things. So you have an experience of things because you wear the nice dress. Going for an interview, wear a tie. So you have an experience of that thing, right? So an event is a possibility. Every event we experience materially is a possibility. That's what we call unlimited possibilities and potentials. Is you have any number of them that can be created from this energy field, and we create our reality. So we are producing these possibilities into our reality. Reality means a physicality. Into a physicality, every event that's happening is based on what? Our thoughts and feelings. So those unlimited possibilities of any kind of event that are possible can be produced merely through a thought and feeling. So how do we understand this a little bit? So let's understand this a little bit with the help of quantum physics. Right? This quantum physics is a fascinating science. In the last 100 years of research, it's trying to understand this nature of reality quite a bit. And of course, the nature of reality is infinity. So any amount that we understand, we always have more to understand. But I think it is giving enough explanations to say what is creating physical things. First of all, it's explaining everything as energy, and then it is trying to say what is creating physical things, right? How to view it. The vibrational matches. When we use the word vibrational match, we use the word energy work. Many times we hear when we go into spiritualists, you use the word energy work. Everything is energy. Can you feel that energy? Experience that energy? It's all the words we used. And quantum physics is trying to explain the nature of reality of all physicality through certain principles. And that's what we're trying to learn so that we can integrate about this process of meditation more. So here in this screen, you see on the left side an atom as a picture, and the right side you see like waves. If you have electrical waves or energy waves, right, this is a typical wave going up and down and then traversing from one point to another. Like on the left side, you see a particle. A particle in this case is trying to show an atom. So one is matter, another is energy as a wave. One is moving constantly, another is static, is fixed there, right? Unless you push it, unless you give some momentum, it's not going to move, right? It stays there. So right now it's like that. A wave on the other side, constantly always in transit, always traveling, because the energy in free motion, right? This atom in this, what deep inside, right, we are made up of this subatomic particles. So what does that mean? It means that our body or anything that you take up, let's take up a body is made up of multiple organs. An organ is made up of like skin, like heart, liver, hands, and every organ is made up of various cells, right? Skin cells are there, liver cells are there, brain cells are there, neurons. So various cells are there. So every organ is made up of various cells. Every cell has life. That's a different thing. Let's come back to that aspect. This epigenetics. But every cell, if it consists of composition of chemicals, that's what we understand physicality. It's just composition of chemicals, right? A cell contains a lot of water, a lot of sodium, a lot of enzymes, right? Hormonals, which are chemicals, so everything is there, right? So every cell is set of chemicals. Now, what is a chemical? It's a compound, and it's a compound molecule, right? Sodium chloride, Na, sodium, and then chlorine, combined sodium chloride. That's salt, right? So a cell is made of a lot of chemicals. Now the chemicals are made up of what? Molecules, right? The chemicals are made up of molecules. So you take water, H2O, is a molecule, combines hydrogen and oxygen, combines into water. So it's a molecule. So a chemical is made up of a lot of molecules, and then the molecules are made up of atoms. In this case, H2O contains two hydrogen, one oxygen, right? So like that. So our body can be clearly seen that it contains a plenty of atoms ultimately when you go down, right? So body is made up of a lot of atoms. So whatever is the composition of this atom, then will be naturally by theory of extrapolation, it will be the composition of this molecule, and hence it is the composition of a cell, and hence it is the what the organ is made up of, and hence what the body is made up of, right? Just in the reverse direction. So when you look at this atom on that picture on the left side, now inside, if you go at subatomic particle, when you break it down, then you have got those dots in that that atom, what you find are those electrons that we heard, and then center is a nucleus, a proton. We learned through physics that the electron and the nucleus, the proton, that has got the little light, that's got mass, that's got that weight to it. It weighs how much? It weighs some microns of weight, some microns of grams, right? Whatever they call that. It's got some weight. If you put a lot of atoms together, you make a water molecule, it's got some weight, right? And you put a lot of water molecules together, then you know that a glass of water has some weight. So same way, so that means this atom, where that little light that you see in the screen on the left side here, this is light, all of that has got some weight. And everything else, and if you draw an imaginary circle here, this is this atom around this thing, and everything else in this atom, that whatever we see is all what? It's emptiness. We've learned it. Electrons orbit around this nucleus, and so everything else is just emptiness. So if this is an atom occupying the space in this greater space, and the space that the atom occupies, whatever that is, in that we find that majority of it is empty, and then only some portions are got weight, right? So in this screen, and then when we look at it, we say maybe 90% is empty, but quantum physics is saying 99.99999 and so much is empty in an atom. If you take, right, only that mass is only that balance, which is at 0.00001%. We can see it just by looking at the picture, right? And most of it is empty, only a little bit is actually energy and the mass. And so first statement is that we are, as a body, or anything that we see around, is really all only emptiness. And quantum physics then further found that emptiness is full of energy. They tried to understand what is there in this emptiness. They found that it is energy, and that energy is nothing but continuous exchange of information, traveling beyond speed of light, which means it can go around the earth and come back in a split second. Speed of light, pretty high, right? 300,000 kilometers per second. So you go around the earth and come back in split second. You think of somebody and it is already, that person is calling you. Now what's the connection? That information, exchange of information, they said, is influenced by thought. Our thought is got, if thought is nothing but energy information, so it is this, that information that is there, emptiness, is influenced by thought. Statement one. Second, at subatomic particle level, that means in that level, number one, first it's all energy. So the energy is reflected right side in the picture. You see there's energy, it's all going. The one that is energy, emptiness, is got a frequency. So wave, energy is wave, and so it's a frequency. It is always traversing. Different thoughts have different frequencies, so their energy waves will be different frequency. All right. And it's about atomic particle level. Everything is both wave and particles. This is one of the most interesting, most important discovery. So the electrons also that we find, which we think are particles, are also actually waves. That's what quantum physics is finding. They actually stay as waves, and sometimes they become particle. When they become particle, we see ourselves as this mass. But when they're becoming wave, then we actually become energy. That's really what the concept is saying, that that electron, whatever we think is actually real, the mass, is really just an energy. As a wave, it stays, but then it becomes particle at some time. So suppose if all the body, in our body, everything, we have trillions of electrons, they all become waves. The moment they become wave, they become like this right side picture. They're vibrating. They're moving from place to place, but the wave is always moving. And as it's moving, and you are moving, and everybody in this room, in this conference is moving, and they're all energy fields are traversing. So they all, you have to agree with me that they have to connect somewhere. They have to connect somewhere and then become one, because waves collide or waves integrate, right? If they collide, they become one. When they collide, if the amplitudes of the waves match, then they become bigger. So if I'm thinking love and you are thinking love, we come together as become greater love. If I'm thinking love and then one is thinking that no, hatred, then these two come together, cancel each other. So there is no net new vibration. So the waves are coming together and they're all becoming one single larger field. So that's what it's saying, is that quantum physics saying that it's a big field of energy waves everywhere. Your waves of energy, my waves of energy, there's my cell phone, my laptops, there's homes, houses, because everything ultimately deep inside is energy. There's a big field of energy waves everywhere. And when we observe it, so then I said, if every electron is an atom, I'm sorry, every atom is a wave and as well as a particle. Particle means it's got the mass, like a ball, it's a marble, right? If a marble has weight, we know that. So electron is also the slight, tiniest particle that we think of at subatomic. It's got some weight. But when it becomes wave to particle, when does it become? They found that when we observe it, when you put somebody and saying, hey, electron, so I want to see you as particle because I know you're a particle. The way I understand you is as particle because I think you have a mass. And so when you think that way, and then it shows up as particle, it becomes matter. When you don't think that way and say it's everything is energy, then it just becomes energy and disappears. Science says that in our body and everywhere, these electrons are appearing and disappearing at least 8 times per second. It's too fast for us to even realize it. But it's all deep inside subatomic, right? So the atom in that case then appear nowhere and everywhere. It is nothing and everything. So the concept here is that because it's an energy, and then energy is traversing everywhere, so it can practically be everywhere. So just understand my conceptually, because the energy is traversing beyond speed of light, so it can appear everywhere. But the moment somebody wants to see it, it can appear right there, right? So understanding this little bit, what's the time now? It seems like we are 7:30. So we're going to close this in 10 minutes. It's an important concept. So understanding this a little bit, we want to play a small video, right? So this video will make us understand. It's always good to understand this experiment. It's called double slit experiment. So as you have seen that, I mean, at a brief level, when the electrons have been fired, when there is no observer, it is assuming what we just learned in the previous chart, When there is no observer, the electron by default stays as waves. It stayed as waves of possibilities. That means it can be as energy everywhere. So it went and then collided with itself, and then produced multiple bands, right? Because the waves are colliding. Wherever the amplitudes, the high frequencies come together, then becomes a stronger band. Wherever it is not, they cancels each other, it becomes emptiness, right? So higher amplitudes, a bigger band, and the lower amplitude, smaller band. No amplitude, zero empty. So rather than have, in that screen, you see one thin line and a little thicker line, a bigger line. So that means the waves are coming together. Some places they're canceling each other, some places, right? Somewhere in between some place. So electron by default behaved as a wave, but the moment they put an observer, then it became and exactly behaved like a particle and then actually went and formed right into that one single band. In this case, two slits or two bands. So, dear friends, just this experimentation, and afterwards, many more experiments they've done to continuously the quantum physics experiments continue to happen, is that every time when we put an observer, then that physical event collapses. It is an unpredictable field, it is there, but then when you put an observer, then observer is collapsing the possibility. Now, what you see on the screen, so quantum field is then unlimited potential and possibilities. Our observation manifests the possibilities into the physical reality. What is a possibility? I've talked about it's an event. So every physical event is an appearance of a pattern of subatomic particles. If you have to get that job and then when you apply the job all the way until you get the offer letter, now you've got a whole set of people, the places, and the things like the companies and all of that involved, right? So they're all set of atoms and molecules deep inside. So if everything comes together, then that event is formed. So an event is an appearance of a pattern of subatomic particles of electrons and neutrons, and it is influenced by observation. So we talked about the observation of a single electron. Now think of an event of getting a job involves billions of electrons have to come together, and they all have to be collapsed as a possibility as a single event and a given time frame, right? Some of them getting collapsed slowly into physicality, and some disappear, some appear, and all of that has to come as a given time frame. Then naturally, a lot of energy is going to be applied onto them, right? Small thing, small energy; big thing, lot of energy. So the more we can apply that energy onto it, onto a and how what do you have to apply on? Apply. So this event of applying the job, you have to think about which companies. You got to write a beautiful resume. Then you got to post it in right media. Rather than it goes in there, you got to apply for appear for entry. You got to be putting your attention onto your email so that you get a communication. So everywhere there is an attention that you're giving to the various sequence of these events of applying for a job, right? And then in the process of applying, the more you can put your observation onto that whole process, it's called thought and feeling. Like understand this. The more you can put your attention deeply onto it, then the more faster you can manifest. But while you're applying, you also get distracted and say, okay, I apply today. Tomorrow I go for vacation. Day after I'll do something else. And then I'll come back 3 days later, look at the mail. The mail have come 3 days ago, but you only look at 3 days later. So if you have various distractions of doing several other things, then you're also then by default producing those possibilities in parallel to this possibility, right? So you're putting your attention on multiple things, you're producing multiple things just here by quantum physics statement. So I want us to take away from today, right, is that our observation is nothing but a thought and feeling is producing an experience, and everything in life is an experience. So this quantum field, when we are understanding quantum field is waves of possibilities, is nothing but that sarvam khalidam brahma. All that exists is this consciousness, is that energy. Everything that exists is merely that energy. Everything that you, I, everything that is there is energy. Sarvam khalidam brahma is there. Our ancients, it is understood long ago, always understood. And so they said, Ed bhavam tad bhavati. Sarvam khalidam brahma, ed bhavam tad bhavati is exactly what we're saying. Infinite waves of possibilities that we are all. And in our meditation, when we withdraw our attention off that matter, which is nothing, our memory, our mind is as full of thoughts, and thought is nothing but about an experience. A thought is about an experience because every thought has got either a person or a place or a thing. and has a start time and end time into it. You go back and then apply it and try to do mind exploration. So thought or a memory is about an event or an experience. So when we withdraw certain attention of every thought, one by one, when we withdraw attention of every thought, so then you're withdrawing your attention of all the experience of life. Your body is still an experience. Your hand being very, very healthy for the last 10 years is an experience for you. And our throat is getting blocked since yesterday night is an experience. Remember, oh, yesterday night onwards, my throat is like a little bit giving me irritation. It's an event experience. So when every memory, every thought is a memory, and then we withdraw our attention of all the thought and memories. That means you're withdrawing our attention of all the experiences, which is an experience of physicality, existing, non-existing, or past. Your marriage, that first kiss, first job, finished long ago, but you remember as a memory of an event as an experience in time. It does not exist in space anymore, but it exists in time and still in your mind, right? So a memory or a thought is a memory which has got a start time and end time. And about a person or a place or thing, it was still in physicality. Otherwise, it's still in memory, it is there as a time. So when we withdraw our attention of all thought, withdraw our attention of all thought, that means withdrawing our attention of all experience, withdraw our attention of all the matter. So we have to then start experiencing that energy field, which is that waves of infinite possibilities, when you start experiencing it. And then quantum physics is saying our observation collapse the possibilities. So then if we have an observation, which is thought and feeling, which then I'll understand in the next class, every thought and feeling is an electromagnetic signature. It produces electromagnetic signature. It produces an energy of electromagnetic energy. So that energy is going into this field of this quantum field and then matching it with a specific set of sequence of electrons, neutrons together, and then that event comes together. We don't have to understand this science. We don't have to think about this every time we create something, but it is happening all the time. So, dear friends, first principle in quantum physics is to understanding that whatever we need is there as energy. Now, so far, it is not, I have not said it is nothing to do with your past. I may have come from any background, but there is an event called me becoming a billionaire. It's there. Me becoming a millionaire is there. Me becoming a CEO of a company is there. No matter what the background is, all you have to do is to believe in that possibility that yes, because all electrons, neutrons are a sequence of pattern and it can collapse. And if you believe and understand the science, nothing to do with the past, and then simply going by that model and visualize and then put your attention on it, you can manifest. That's the unlimited possibilities. So meditation is helping us experience this field, this emptiness, and the meditation is helping us put our attention onto what we want so that we can manifest. With that, we close the session for today. Thank you very much for joining. And we perhaps take a quick comment from perhaps, I don't know if you have any physics professor, but we can understand. I know Jagdishwar has a lot of interest in physics too. So your closing comments on this one.
Thank you, Chandra sir. Yes. Uh, Actually, I have always believed that the universe is governed by the laws of physics. But it doesn't matter what I say. I think I have mentioned this before, and I like this new audience to also understand that, see, you cannot explain what you have not understood. And the way that you have been explaining these things almost every other time makes me believe strongly that you understood this principle very strongly. Let me very confess, like many things that have happened to me in life, it's always been through accidents. And I've been, in that sense, a very blessed person. All these good things have happened to me. And probably that's how I came into this meditation also, out of a group mail that I received. And let me confess, the very first day I saw you, I said, oh, this is a young man. I hope he does this well. And the very first moment you started speaking, my attitude towards you changed completely. It's again my luck that I came to know you through personally. As a person in my profession who's been trying to tell people, I never had the feeling that I have to tell you something. So, along with you, don't treat it just as a compliment. I'm just analyzing this. I know people have been complimenting with you, especially the last few days, especially Coimbatore trip. It's been an amazing experience. I've been feeling that there's a yagna taking place with you performing the yagna with all the other sages watching, blessing you, and I sighting at the sidelines and drinking this pleasure. That's all fine. But what I'm saying right now is to be taken seriously with everyone. There is definitely this concept of physics which governs this, and I can go on talking about it, but you have understood it so well. I think you're a better person to talk about it. I would like to keep listening to you. Congratulations. All the best.
Thank you, Jagdish. Thank you so much for your observation, your comments. I am very humbled with your observation. You've been a very, very established and very popular professor from IEM. It's always great to have you and inspire us. Thank you. And it inspires me every time I talk about this field. Every time I talk about this topic, it inspires me that there is so much literally we can create of. That's all. I think the quantum model, Newtonian model, this quantum model is liberating. Newtonian model is limiting. It served its purpose. We have to move on to this quantum model so we liberate ourselves and create anything. That's the whole idea, right? And that truly so because we are that full consciousness, so we can't be a limited little entity. So thank you so much, dear friends. So thank you all for your time, and we'll continue to learn various concepts of manifestation. This is the first concept during the week, so that by the time we finish, we'll also introduce meditation, which includes a visualization segment during this week, so that we start meditating on a specific goal or thing for us, or a dream for us as we go along. We'll introduce a new form of a segment into meditations too. So thank you all, and have a great day, and we meet back tomorrow again. Thank you.
Veena.
Yes, sir. We have Ashish.
Good morning, Chandraji.
Good morning.
Uh, I have been passing through a very nice phase of the life after I think I have joined this meditation group. This is my second phase, and I think I have been really enjoying. It has transformed me to quite an extent. It has charmed me at all. And the best part is that I'm trying to analyze the scientific aspects, you see. Sometimes, like today's, the quantum physics, I think I'll have to really go into the video again to really understand. It's just amazing. We all know about neutron, protons, but how they change, how the energy, and syncing them with the imaginations, the waves, all this is fascinating. In my experience, I find that it is a full-fledged science now. And the last week has been just fantastic, analyzing it into the medical aspects of everything. Being a medical professional myself, I just keep thinking now, every time I do a video conference with my patients, see, I like to understand them more into the psychological aspects. So I think it is giving me a lot of thoughts and insights into this also. Thank you, Chandra sir. It is just great to listen to you every day in the morning. So it makes my day. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashok ji. That's great. You said you're a biomedical professional. So what are you, and where are you from?
I'm based in Noida now. I had a big innings. I'm a sports medicine specialist, you see.
I see.
And I deal with a lot of national and international sportsmen. I have been doing this with quite a number of sportsmen because when we go for the competitions, we used to have the same problem of their thoughts going away and putting them into concentration and focus. But I think with this group meditation, I'm really enjoying it, listening to the other people also.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. That's good. There is a book called Mindful Athlete.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've gotten hold of it. It's an interesting book to read.
Yes.
It even documents Michael Jordan
Yeah.
Michael Jordan is a meditator,
Mm.
and his coach is a meditator. So they
That's
document
right.
how they quickly, and every break of this basketball, they're playing, and then they get a break, and then go into the break, and then how this some of these players who meditate quickly go into that meditation, mindful moment, so that they could recoup themselves and come back and perform much better. So this is there definitely, and I think many of the Indian sportsmen also now practice meditation.
Yeah, I think it has become an established part of our speciality now, and we are advocating it, and they are really getting benefited it. All these visualizations, manifestations, we create it in a room. So, for example, they're going in a match. So take an example of a cricket match. You see, they're going to the Lords, how they walk it, how they prepare it, right from the dressing rooms, and watching the spectators, the listening to the spectators. They have to drift away those thoughts also. It's very, very interesting. Thank you so much. I know it's a wonderful book that you mentioned.
Yes, that's great to hear from you the same that we read, and then yes, it's all in the imagination and dreaming that they visualize, and we hear and then we read that Virat Kohli ji is doing in his practice at least half the time is in around visualization because energy work. It can become so powerful. Energy changing matter versus matter changing matter, right? So much easy to have energy changing matter. That's why the more we can stay in the thought of realm and dream and imagine, the more we can actually manifest that thing, which is what we call effortlessly doing it or miraculously doing it or smart work. There are all the various words, right? Yes. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you, Chandra.
Yes. Thank you. Rakesh, who are the personalities that you recently put together a slide? Who are the famous sports personalities who are practicing meditation?
Many, including I think Williams sisters, many tennis stars like Novak Djokovic, William sisters, yeah, basketball players, a lot of them. Many of the American sports personalities, uh, yeah. So,
Okay. Anyone from India? I thought you included Virat Kohli is not there? No?
yeah, Kohli definitely, yes. You already mentioned Virat Kohli. Yeah,
Oh,
I need to check. Yes, definitely Virat Kohli.
wonderful. Veena?
So we have Mr. Vasudevan.
I have been introduced to meditation some time back, but I was not practicing. Now I'm back to with Buddha CU. I think I had the reference from Mr. SVB, and very much enjoying this experience of one doing the meditation, but more importantly, also knowing the concepts, knowing the science of some of these concepts is really making more engaging and interesting. I had two questions. I thought I'll put it to you. One is when you are in that state of observing your breath, for you to move into the state of beyond that, because you're still in the stage of observing your breath. Is that good enough, or is it expected that at one point of time we leave also the observation of the breath and start moving into the next step? So, is that something which naturally happens, or is it something that we have to stop observing breath at one point of time so that it will lead into the next one? So, that's my first question.
Well, it naturally will happen. As you observe, the breath is becoming lighter and shorter. Then finally, it'll become non existent. So that's the time we cut over to the other side because you have nothing to observe. Or as you observe, within a few seconds, you will forget that you're observing. Just there right now, you try to observe, but then very quickly you'll forget that you're observing the breath. So that also will happen. Either way, then we would have gone on to an emptiness state.
The second question, Chandraji, is about the thought. So I think I'm not sure if it's sometime going to come up. There is a tendency for me to get into the negative side of thinking about the consequences of whatever you're trying to do. So in the a way of looking at meditation to frame it positively and to move into the positive frame of thinking. Is there anything that you want to tell now, or I'm even willing to wait in case it gets answered sometime later?
So let's go through the program,
Sure.
because for ultimately for all of that is a meditation. If the thoughts and feelings create reality, and simply we can say, stay on a positive thought and positive things will happen. That is the book of secret. The secret book is about that. Now, what makes it us to be in a positive thought is meditation.
Okay.
More mindfulness and awareness. Meditation leads to mindfulness and awareness, so we can immediately recognize and then be in a positive thought. Right.
Super. Thank you so much.
You know, many times, for example, we set on a project. We set on, let's say, we want to do some service or we want to start something. Initially, start with a positive goal, positive thought. Then, as we're working along, we run into roadblocks, right? Some people don't cooperate. So we are working together. So you have a positive thought, you're going positively on it, but people don't cooperate. When they don't cooperate, then we extrapolate it and we start judging and they start talking about it to this person, that person. So one thought forward positively, you are there on the goal, but without realizing, we are talking to all kinds of colleagues and we're producing this rumor mill, this spin mill, saying that, hey, this person does not cooperate, that person is like this, what does he think, he is bossing, this and that, all that which we start saying now come into a negative thought category. We don't even realize it. We think that I am on the goal, I'm on the focused, I want to be in the service thing and I want to gain happiness. But then here, as part of the working for the project execution, then we have these little things, and the little things where we start talking and then amplifying it. So this person does not cooperate. This person is always like this, but he's an integral part of this project. And then we ourselves, without even realizing, say he does not cooperate. Oh, why did you behave like this yesterday? And then when we say it, then we are applying a certain energy which is in a different direction than the original goal. Right? All the little nuances matter. Most of the time, our energy gets leaked and energy goes into different direction is because while we are generally are pretty strong about the goal that we want in front, but then on the day to day, we have so many leaks that are there. Many times we share things, we talk about things which do not even give solution to a larger project. Right? If people don't cooperate in a larger project when you're working, and then we need to work on it, and the people who can solve the problem, we have to go and then talk about not in a complaining way, but as a way to find a solution. Become solution oriented than a problem oriented, and then talk to people who can solve the problem. Right? If a key project team member does not cooperate, then who do you have to talk to? You have to go and then talk to the manager and say, hey, he is behaving this way, so is there be something we can do in a way to find a solution, not as a complaint, because complaint means you're putting negative energy, just changing it into a positive way and then applying there and then talking there versus spreading, he does not work, he is like this, she is like that, she is just then, I don't know how this is going to happen. And we keep talking all around everywhere, then all the energy is getting leaked, and then so the project, the goal that you start with, doesn't happen. Simple concept. Now, what is meditation? Meditation, the more and more we meditate, and the more though we become aware, and then we are trying to eliminate all such intangential, inconsequential things that we are just trying to put our attention on, because they're all are slowly leaking away and putting a different direction. So everything matters, and then meditation is a way to stay focused, not only on the primary goal, but everything that you're trying to in the part of execution of it. And we also stay focused on just that thing. We'll understand it. It's the more and more you meditate, more and more you read, you'll understand this.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, NC sir had raised hand sometime
Yes,
back.
yes. Always good to hear from NC Sub.
Chandra, good morning, and good morning to others also. Today's talk is really spellbound. I was really spellbound by your amazing explanation about the law of physics, as Jagdish pointed out. In fact, it took me to my fundamental physics, which I learned in my pre-university class in St. Joseph's College, Trichy. I think it was taught at the micro level, but you have gone at the ultra micro level. That's what I would say. As again, Dr. Ashok said, I'll have to go through the slides again to understand a bit more about some of the finer aspects. Now I could understand the basis, but the finer aspects I could not. I have to go through again, and this forms the basis for our research also. I'm just, I mean, contemplating if we can make it as a hypothesis for our future research. That's what I'm trying to, contemplate. And I think I will go through the subject in detail. And probably I'll have to have a one-to-one discussion to clear my doubts. Because unless a person has read a large number of books, and I think you've mastered it. You cannot make it simple. You made it simple to the level best today. But still, most of the other people, I mean, it could have been difficult. If it had been difficult for even for Professor Jagdish and Dr. Ashok and myself, it would have been difficult for others also. But physics masters, if there have been somebody, they would be able to understand better. But this is amazing. The examples, what you have given, the slides, you have prepared is really amazing. That's what I'm trying to say. Unless you have mastered the subject, you can't make it simple. Only people who mastered the subject, they can make it simple. I can understand how much of books you must have read. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So I'll also continue to work to simplify it. And yes, we should make this part of hypothesis for a future research and come up with a model, right, to study it. But it'll be great. I'm glad that you're thinking in that direction, but because this is the real proof of if we can document this in a scientific way, there's nothing like it. Our own way. It is quantum physics is documented in many ways. Quantum physics have done it, but then we can apply it into daily life and then document it. Yes.
Yeah, translate into the clinical level.
Yes.
And once action level. Thank you.
That's right.
Best compliments to you.
Spot answer. Thank you so much. Thank you. Your compliments mean a lot to us. Thank you.
We have Chandragupta Shah.
Yes, it was. This is the third time attending 40 days session, and the video I must have seen third time. First time it was like I didn't understand. Now today it was like fantastic thing, and I'll be studying this again and again. But today's session, from the first word of yours, Master Chandra, to the last, up to this particular point, I'm engrossed into all the discussions, and I'm trying to relate with the manifestation, the meditation, and my life, what actions and how I need to think, not only for 1 hour of meditation, but 24 hours, like my living is will be guided. It is guided by this 1 hour or whatever I'm spending. And I'm also very curious from childhood about how things work in the world. So I'm getting things, and it's wonderful, as ancestor said. And even last time also I shared, I really appreciate, and I don't know what to say in words, that you have mastered all those books and simplified to a person like me. And I think I'm understood, and I'm going to practice this. Thanks. Thank you very much. I don't have words actually to thank you, Chandra sir. It's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you, Chandragupta. It's wonderful. Bye, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you all.